I just watched a robot pull a car that weighs over 3,000 pounds. And it's not some massive industrial machine. It's a humanoid robot that's barely 3 feet tall and weighs less than 80 pounds. But here's the part that should really get your attention. This robot figured out how to do it on its own. Not programmed step by step by engineers. Not remote controlled by a human. It learned. And that changes everything. Because what we're seeing right now isn't just robots getting stronger or faster. We're watching them develop something that looks a lot like thinking, problem solving, adaptation. The kind of intelligence that used to separate humans from machines. And in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how close we are to robots that can genuinely operate in the real world. Not in controlled lab environments. Not following pre-programmed routines, but actually thinking their way through unpredictable situations, just like you and I do. Trust me, by the end of this video, you're going to see why 2026 might be the year robots finally escape the lab and enter everyday life. Let's dive in. All right, so let me start with the most important breakthrough that just happened. And this comes from a team at the Beijing Humanoid Robot Innovation Center working with Tsinghua University. They created something called WOW, which stands for World Omniscient World Model. And I know that sounds like complicated tech jargon, but stick with me, because what this does is genuinely mind-blowing. Most AI systems right now just watch the world passively. They see what happens, but they don't really understand why things happen. It's like the difference between watching someone ride a bike versus actually knowing how balance, momentum, and steering work together. WOW is different. It builds what researchers call physical intuition, the same kind of understanding humans develop when we interact with objects as kids. Think about it. When you were a toddler, you learned about gravity by dropping things. You learned about weight by picking up toys. You learned about friction by pushing objects across the floor. You built an internal model of how the physical world works through trial and error. That's exactly what WOW does for robots. But instead of taking years like human children, it can compress that learning into hours or days through simulation. Here's a practical example. Researchers told a robot with WOW to move a cup off the edge of a table without spilling it. The robot didn't have pre-programmed instructions for this specific task. Instead, it predicted what would happen if it moved the cup certain ways, checked those predictions against its understanding of physics, and refined its approach until it found a solution that worked. And it did this in seconds, not hours of programming, not thousands of failed attempts. It reasoned through the problem the way a human would. But here's where it gets even crazier. Once one robot learns something through WOW, that knowledge can be transferred to every other robot using the system. One robot figures out how to open a tricky door. Now they all know how to do it. It's like if every human on Earth instantly gained the knowledge and skills of every other human. That's the kind of exponential learning we're talking about. Now, knowing how to think is one thing, but robots also need to actually do things in the real world. And that's where China is absolutely dominating right now. Remember that robot I mentioned at the start that pulled a 3,000-pound car? That's UniTree's G1 robot. It weighs just 77 pounds and stands about 4 feet tall. But it can generate enough force and maintain enough balance to haul a vehicle that weighs 40 times its own body weight. But the impressive part isn't the strength. Plenty of machines are strong. The impressive part is the balance and real-time adjustment. Watch the footage and you'll see the robot constantly shifting its weight, adjusting its foot placement, and compensating for the moving load. That's dynamic problem solving happening in real time. And this isn't a one-off prototype. UniTree has already shipped over 500 of their humanoid robots to actual factories where they're doing real work. Not demonstrations, not research projects, actual productive labor. Another company called UBTech just rolled their 1,000th Walker S2 robot off the assembly line, and they're planning to scale to 10,000 robots by the end of 2026. That's not a typo. 10,000 humanoid robots working in Chinese factories within the next year. Meanwhile, the US has 5 companies exhibiting humanoid robots at CES this year. China has 20. Out of 34 total companies worldwide showing humanoid robots, 20 are Chinese. This isn't some future competition. This is happening right now, and one side is way ahead. The $1,400 revolution. Price disruption, accessibility. But here's the development that should really make everyone pay attention. A Chinese startup called Noetics Robotics just released a humanoid robot called Boommy that costs $1,370. Let me put that in perspective. That's less than a used car, less than a high-end laptop, less than a decent mountain bike. And you're getting a fully functional humanoid robot that can walk, balance, recognize objects, and perform tasks. Now, it's not as capable as the industrial models. It's only 3 feet tall. It's designed more for education and home use, and it can't lift heavy objects or work for 12-hour shifts. But that's not the point. The point is that humanoid robots just crossed the affordability threshold for regular consumers. Before this, you were looking at $20,000 minimum for anything humanoid. Now we're talking about the price of a decent gaming PC. And if you know anything about technology, you know what happens once something crosses the affordability threshold. Adoption accelerates, competition increases, prices drop further, capabilities improve. And within a few years, the technology that seemed futuristic becomes normal. Remember when flat-screen TVs cost $5,000? Now you can get one for $300. Remember when smartphones cost $700? Now you can get capable ones for under $200. The same pattern is about to play out with robots. Before we continue, let me tell you about today's sponsor, NordVPN, because this actually ties into a concern you should have about AI and robots. Look, as AI and robotics get more advanced, these systems are collecting data constantly. Cameras, microphones, sensors, internet connectivity. All of this creates a massive amount of information about you, your home, your routines, your habits. And if you're connecting these devices to your home network without protection, you're potentially exposing all of that data to hackers, advertisers, or anyone else who wants to snoop. That's where NordVPN comes in. It encrypts your internet connection and routes it through secure servers, making it nearly impossible for anyone to intercept or track your online activity. When your smart devices, AI assistants, or any other connected tech communicates over the internet, that data is protected. But here's another reason to use a VPN that most people don't think about. A lot of cutting-edge AI tools and research are region-locked. Some of the platforms I'm showing you in this video aren't available everywhere. With NordVPN, you can access servers in different countries and use tools that might be blocked in your region. Right now, if you click the link in the description, you get NordVPN for 58% off. That's less than a coffee, and honestly, protecting your digital privacy is one of the smartest investments you can make. I've been using NordVPN for over a year, and it just runs in the background, protecting everything. Whether I'm testing new AI tools, working with client data, or just browsing, I know my information is secure. So check out that link. 58% off, $5 a month, totally worth it. All right, back to the robots. So China isn't just leading on AI brains for robots. They're also figuring out how to make robots move naturally. And there's a new demo from Unitree that shows just how far this technology has come. In the demo, a human operator controls a humanoid robot in real time. But here's what makes it special. The operator isn't wearing some bulky VR headset or a motion capture suit covered in sensors. It's a much more streamlined setup. and the robot mirrors the human's movements almost instantly. Watch the footage, and you'll see the robot copy complex full-body movements smoothly and naturally, reaching, bending, shifting weight, all while maintaining perfect balance. The lag between the human moving and the robot responding is barely noticeable. Now, why does this matter? Because one of the fastest paths to useful robots isn't full autonomy. It's teleoperation. Having humans remotely control robots to do dangerous, difficult, or distant work. Imagine construction workers operating robots on hazardous job sites from the safety of an office. Surgeons performing operations on patients thousands of miles away. Maintenance workers repairing equipment in environments that would kill a human. We're not talking about clunky, slow remote control like old bomb disposal robots. We're talking about fluid, natural movement that feels like your body is somewhere else. That's what this technology enables. And once you have robots that can mirror human movement this well, you can collect massive amounts of training data to teach them to operate autonomously. Show them how to do a task 1,000 times, and eventually, they learn to do it on their own. But robots can't just think and move. They also need to understand what they're looking at. And there's another breakthrough that's making this possible. It's called MVInverse, and it takes photos of a scene and figures out the intrinsic properties of everything in that scene. The color of objects, the lighting conditions, the texture and roughness of surfaces, whether things are metallic or matte. Why does this matter? Because right now, most robots struggle when lighting changes. They're trained in bright lab environments and then fail when you put them in a dimly lit warehouse. They learn to manipulate objects on a white table and then get confused when the table is wood. MVInverse gives robots a much deeper understanding of what they're seeing. It doesn't just recognize that's a cup. It understands that's a ceramic cup with a glossy finish under fluorescent lighting. And that level of understanding makes robots way more capable of handling real-world variation. Combine this with the physical intuition from WOW, and you've got robots that can see a scene, understand the properties of the objects, and predict how those objects will behave when interacted with. That's getting very close to how humans perceive and interact with the world. Timeline acceleration. When this actually happens. Now, here's the question everyone wants answered. When are we actually going to see these robots in everyday life? And the honest answer is, sooner than most people think. Industrial adoption is already happening. Hundreds of humanoid robots are working in factories right now. By the end of 2026, that number will be in the thousands. By 2028, probably tens of thousands. For home use, we're probably 2 to 3 years out from robots that can do genuinely useful tasks. Not just vacuum your floors like a Roomba, but actually help with laundry, cleaning, organizing, basic cooking. The hardware is mostly there. The AI is rapidly catching up. The main barrier now is cost. And as we saw with Boommy, that barrier is crumbling fast. For service industries, restaurants, hotels, retail stores, we're probably seeing serious deployment in the next 3 to 5 years, especially in countries like China and Japan, where labor costs are high and there's cultural acceptance of robot workers. The question isn't really if anymore, it's when and how fast. And based on what we've seen just in the past few months, the answer to how fast is faster than anyone predicted. Practical, implications, nuanced, balanced perspective. So let's talk about what this all means practically, because it's easy to get caught up in the hype or the fear, but the reality is more nuanced. First, these robots aren't going to show up overnight and replace all human workers. That's not how technology adoption works. It's gradual. It starts in specific industries where the ROI is clear, where the tasks are well defined, and where there's already labor shortage. Manufacturing, warehousing, logistics, these are the first dominoes to fall because the business case is obvious. A robot that costs $20,000 and can work 24/7 pays for itself in months compared to human labor. Service industries come next: fast food, cleaning services, basic retail. Tasks that are repetitive, follow clear patterns, and don't require complex human interaction. Home robots are probably the last piece because homes are chaotic. Environments with infinite variation. Every house is laid out differently. Every family has different needs. That's the hardest problem to solve at scale. But here's what people often miss. As robots take over certain tasks, they also create new opportunities. Someone needs to maintain these robots, program them, supervise them, integrate them into existing workflows. The jobs don't just disappear, they transform. The real challenge isn't the technology, it's managing the transition, making sure people have opportunities to retrain, creating safety nets for workers in industries that get disrupted first, building a society that shares the benefits of this technology instead of concentrating them. These are hard problems, but they're solvable problems. And ignoring the technology won't make it go away. China isn't slowing down. The market forces pushing this forward aren't going to stop. So, the question for everyone watching this is, how do you prepare? Section 8. Actionable advice. Practical steps viewers can take. If you work in an industry likely to be affected by robotics, start learning adjacent skills now. If you're in manufacturing, learn robot maintenance and programming. If you're in logistics, understand how automated systems are managed. Don't wait for the disruption to happen and then scramble. If you're a business owner, start thinking about how robotics could augment your operations. Not replace your workers, but handle the tasks they hate doing so they can focus on higher value work. Early adopters are going to have a serious competitive advantage. If you're a student or someone early in their career, focus on skills that are hard to automate: creativity, complex problem solving, emotional intelligence, strategic thinking. These are going to be valuable for a long time. And for everyone, stay informed. This technology is moving fast, and understanding it gives you power to adapt, to spot opportunities, and to advocate for policies that actually help people. Look, I know this video covered a lot. AI robots that teach themselves, physical demonstrations of robots doing incredible things, price points dropping to consumer levels, timelines accelerating faster than expected. But here's the simple version. The gap between robots in labs and robots everywhere is closing fast. What used to be science fiction is becoming engineering, and the countries and companies moving fastest are the ones that will shape how this technology gets used. This isn't about fear or hype. It's about recognizing a genuine inflection point. 5 years from now, the presence of robots in daily life is going to be normal in ways that would seem shocking today. So pay attention, ask questions, think critically about what this means for you, your industry, your community. Because the future isn't something that happens to us, it's something we build together. Drop a comment and let me know what you think. Are you excited about household robots? Concerned about job displacement? Curious about the technical details? I read every comment, and your questions often shape future videos. And if you want to stay on top of all this robotics and AI news, hit that subscribe button. I'm breaking down the latest developments every week, cutting through the hype and showing you what actually matters. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.